Powered by Riverside FM.
Why won't the Minnesota Vikings just come out and make a statement that they're not interested in Aaron Rodgers? Wouldn't that put all the speculation to bed? The longer this thing goes on, the more worried that I get that they are deep within the walls of the Egan headquarters, that they are having those conversations that I told you would take place over the next couple of days. It is scary, man. It's scary that as long as the Vikings are not saying that they are not interested in Aaron Rodgers, which would be very easy to do, mind you, there is no benefit for the Minnesota Vikings to allow this to linger other than if they are honestly looking at that even as a smidgen of an offer, UP Nation. If I'm the Minnesota Vikings and J.J. McCarthy's my guy, I don't want for a minute for J.J. McCarthy to even think that Aaron Rodgers may be coming to Egan, Minnesota. Not for a minute. Unless they are actually entertaining bringing Aaron Rodgers in. I just don't understand it. I just don't understand why they won't come out and make this statement. Nobody from the Minnesota Vikings is saying nothing. There is no benefit to having this thing linger on. And I don't want to hear, well, the Vikings are in contract negotiations with other quarterback options to back up J.J. McCarthy, and to put out a statement like that will make the Minnesota Vikings lose their leverage in contract negotiations. No, it won't. No, it won't. Come out, make a statement, hey, we're not interested in Aaron Rodgers. But as I said in previous podcasts, that Aaron Rodgers people want this. It has been put out this morning that former general manager Doug Whaley in the NFL put out a statement saying Aaron Rodgers is holding the entire Steelers organization hostage. Why? Because I believe he wants Minnesota. You're either going to pay me, Pittsburgh Steelers, an astronomical amount to save you because you don't have Justin Fields, and I don't think you want Russell Wilson back. And I am Aaron freaking Rodgers, future Hall of Fame quarterback, first ballot, by the way. You are going to pay me because I know if I come to the Steelers, odds are we're not going to be better than the Ravens. We're not going to be better than the Chiefs. We're not going to be better than the Buffalo Bills. So I'm coming back really knowing that I don't have a chance for a shot at the Super Bowl. And I'm a big fan of Mike Tomlin, but I just think the roster's not ready. The roster's not ready for a Super Bowl. So Aaron Rodgers, I believe that is correct. It says there are conflicting reports regarding when the Steelers may get an answer from Rodgers. While many are expecting a resolution this week, NFL media reported Wednesday morning it could be weeks before Aaron Rodgers makes a decision on whether or not he wants to sign with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, here's the X factor in this. Aaron Rodgers can take his time all he wants. He can take weeks. I don't think the Minnesota Vikings are going to take weeks. And there's a guy out there by the name of Kirk Cousins that is possibly going to be released by the Atlanta Falcons pretty soon. I know the Atlanta Falcons are saying, hey, we want him to be a backup. Kirk Cousins is not going to be a backup in Atlanta. Not at that price. So if Kirk Cousins comes off the market, odds are that's an option for the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's going to come a little bit cheaper than Aaron Rodgers. Then where does Aaron Rodgers go next? This thing is getting scary, man. The people that are out there reporting, and there are so many good content creators out there. There are so many good NFL analysts out there. The people that are reporting that there is no way, there's no chance in hell. I remember the whole Brett Favre saga, and I remember the same folks, the same people saying the same things. People, where there's smoke, there's going to be fire. And this is not something Minnesota Viking fans, UP Nation fans, Skol Nation, this is not something that we can just poo-poo. This is not something that we can just throw out. This is not something that we can just ignore. This is a scary thing, man. As long as Aaron Rodgers has not made a decision or put his name on the dotted lines, there is always a chance that he can end up here. Regardless of whether you think it's a slight chance, but we got people out there saying there's no chance in hell. That's a bad take. It's a bad take. I'm telling you, it's a bad take. Because if that were the case, if that were valid, and you're talking about J.J. McCarthy being your starting quarterback for the 2025 season, which I am on board with. I am on board with that. I wouldn't mind that at all. If that is the case, the Minnesota Vikings brass, they're hearing the rumors out there about Brett Favre. Don't think they're not. And if there is 0% interest in Aaron Rodgers coming to the Minnesota Vikings, if there is 0% interest in Aaron Rodgers coming to the Minnesota Vikings, put out a statement saying such. It's that easy. That kills all the speculation. It makes J.J. McCarthy that much more comfortable. Minnesota Viking fans can rest and calm down. But I don't believe that's the case. I believe that there are conversations being, whether you want it to happen or not, whether I want it to happen or not, I guarantee you in Egan, in the last 24 hours, the Minnesota Vikings have had conversations about Aaron Rodgers. And these are not just fly-by conversations. These are conversations about what if. Quasi, what do you think? KOC, what do you think? When we talk about J.J. McCarthy, the term that you always hear when they talk about Daniel Jones when he came in or possibly bringing back Sam Darnold, they always say, if J.J. McCarthy is ready. And I think the interpretation or the assumption is that everybody thinks it's about his knee. He just had a meniscus repair. He never had a second surgery. He just had a treatment for his meniscus repair. But I think everybody goes to the injury first. What if the Minnesota Vikings don't think J.J. McCarthy is ready to go next year just in terms of playing and experience? I mean, keep in mind, he missed the whole season last year in terms of getting reps in practice. I don't want to hear anything about the VR stuff, man. That stuff is not the same. Great technology. Just not the same. But what if they're talking about he's not ready? If he's not ready to take the helm? Why did they want a guy like Daniel Jones backing him up? Because he had some starts under his belt. Why did they contemplate bringing Sam Darnold back? Because he had some starts under his belt. You don't think that they would entertain possibly Aaron Rodgers, especially with what they have done within the last 48 hours in free agency? I mean, this team, you could argue, is better than it was outside of the quarterback position. It's better now than it was last year because we're plugging some holes, needs that we needed filled. So don't think that this is just fake news, Aaron Rodgers coming to the Vikings. because the Minnesota Vikings have all the power in the world to shut that down right away. And they're not doing it. This is getting scary, man. This is getting scary. Put your thoughts in the comments. What do you think about this whole Aaron Rodgers deal, man? Do you think there's a possibility he can end up with the Vikings, or is it a bunch of BS? Please hit that like and subscribe button. Please consider becoming a member. Those that become a member will be entered in a drawing to win a Minnesota Vikings Winter Warrior jersey. This has been the UP. We will make sure to see you when we see you. We're going to keep our eyes on this Aaron Rodgers thing, man. This is getting scary. I hope he signs with Pittsburgh today so we can start with the J.J. McCarthy era. We'll see you when we see you.